Welcome to A Leader's Journey, the podcast for leaders who deeply believe there is a better way to lead and desire to create their unique journey towards becoming a legacy leader. I'm your host, Shannon Hammond. Over the last 20 years as a corporate leader and leadership performance coach, I've learned that many leaders believe there is a predefined path they have to follow and struggle leaning into their unique gifts that will create lasting impact and fulfillment. They end up feeling stuck, unhappy, and unfulfilled in the day-to-day of their role, and are challenged with why, since they have experienced success in their career and in life. I'm here to help leaders think through their leadership journey, learn how to ask themselves better questions, and learn the formula to create their leadership journey by design. If you are ready to design your unique leadership journey, lead with confidence, and love the teams you lead, then you are in the right place. Let's do this. Hello, my friends and fellow leaders. I'm glad to have you here with me today. I actually had a different episode scheduled to be released this week. It's going to have to wait till next week. So I encourage you tune in to hear that, because I'll be sharing with you why I believe leaders need a coach. And the message that I want to share with you today is just going to reinforce the fact that we are all humans. And I think as leaders, we absolutely need a coach to help hold us accountable, to help us navigate through the difficult times. And I think we're at a place where that is happening in the world, definitely here in the US. Today's episode, it's going to be an unedited, heartfelt message from me and a plea to all of you as leaders. After what I've seen happen this week, we need this message. So I encourage you to share this with your friends, your family, other leaders that you know. We're at a critical turning point, and we as leaders, we need to step it up. It's time for us to step it up. And so that's what my message is going to be about this week. The US election was last week, and as it is in every election, one candidate or party wins and the other loses. There's never going to be a way that it's going to be different, because there can only be one winner. If you voted for the party that won, you're probably feeling happy, relieved, excited for what the future holds. And if you voted for the party that lost, you're probably feeling hurt, worried, frustrated, angry, upset. All of them are perfectly normal feelings that you are entitled to, regardless of which of those groups that you fall in or how you are feeling. Neither of them, though, permit you to be a jerk and treat others poorly. And that's a lot of what I've seen this week. If you won, don't gloat and rub it in others' faces. If you lost, don't be hateful and spiteful towards others. What I've seen this past week, I think, is a reflection of what has really been building for decades. It's the result of the participation trophy generation, where everyone gets a trophy and no one loses. Well, that's not how life works, and it's never been how life has worked. There are winners and losers in most aspects of life, and definitely in leadership. You're going to apply for a leadership position. In 99.99% of those times, they have one position to fill, which means it doesn't matter how many candidates applied, one is going to get the position and the rest are not. You're going to get told no for more positions than you're going to get offered. That is how it goes. In the 20 years I've been in a leadership role, and the 30 years that I've been working, I've been turned down for more positions and jobs than I've been offered. That's just how life is. Again, you're going to lose way more than you're going to win. You are going to get told no more than you get told yes. Ask anybody in sales. I promise you, they've been told no when they've met in front of prospects way more than they get a yes. It is what it is. It is life. And we all have to learn how to respond professionally and respectfully in both scenarios. It's clear as day to me that we are not teaching future generations how to lose respectfully and professionally. And those that did have that skill, some of them have clearly forgotten how to do that. Never in my life have I seen such hate-filled, downright mean, nasty, degrading, insulting comments coming from the people who have lost or voted for the candidate that lose. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to say that they've lost, because I don't believe that regardless of what candidate for, you have lost. If you live in the United States, you are winning over everybody else in the world. So it doesn't matter who you voted for. I do think everybody won, regardless of which side you believe in. I get it. Listen, 4 years ago, I voted for the candidate that didn't win. I didn't lash out or stop following people on social media or stop talking to them just because we didn't agree on what the outcome should have been. And I'm sad to say that this year, I haven't been able to do that. There are moral lines that have been crossed for me and what my values are and the things that I believe in. And there are just some things that I cannot tolerate in life. And some of the things that I've seen people say, it's just disgusting. There's just no other way to describe it. And when you start threatening others, that's where I've got to draw a line. I have to draw a line. So unfortunately, and I'm not proud to say it, but there are people that already, not even a full week later, that I've chosen to no longer associate with. There are small businesses that make products in the US that as of right now, I'm not going to be purchasing from. I'm not going to say that that's never going to happen. Right now, though, again, they chose to cross a line that just doesn't align with my vision and my values. 4 years ago, when I was that person who voted for the party that lost, I couldn't even dream up, much less actually say some of the things that I've seen those that voted for the candidate that lost this year say. It's unbelievable to me that the party that has been preaching and forcing on others really the concepts of inclusion, who want hate speech and mean tweets to stop and claim that they want everybody to get along, has spewed some of the worst things that I've seen a human say in a really long time. Things that have been said, they are way worse than any of the mean tweets that I've ever seen. So that they've been complaining about. Like, it's just, I'm gonna get tongue-tied a few times here, so please forgive me, but it's that bad. They've called those that chose to vote a different way from them racists, misogynists, haters of women, Nazis. And I could go on, but I won't, because that's not the message that I'm here to share with you today. And truthfully, I can't even repeat some of the things that were said without feeling like I'm going to puke, because that is how bad they were. It's not easy to lose. I've been there. I get it. I've lost many times in my life. I've had all of the same feelings. Yet I chose to not lash out at others because it wasn't going to solve anything. And if you found this to be you and you've said things that you are not proud of, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Take a second look at what you've shared, course correct, apologize, and take ownership for it. We've all been angry and we've all said things that we didn't mean. I know I've been there. And it's all about how you correct from it and move forward. And you do have to recognize that you can't take back what you've said. And others may not be in a place at this moment to forget or forgive. And you have to then exercise some patience for that. It all has to stop, and it has to stop now. This is not how we move forward. This is not how we lead. And I can't imagine, even for the people that are saying those things, that truly aligns with their personal values. They're not bad people. I do believe that they have the best of intentions, yet they're allowing their emotions to get the best of them, which is a choice. And it's a choice that you can make differently. One of the greatest problems that I believe that we have right now, it's lack of consideration for others. Nobody agrees on everything, and nobody is going to be right all the time. Just because I voted one way and you voted another doesn't mean one is right and one is wrong. They are just different. And being different is what this entire country has been built on. It's what makes us strong. We are better together and we need others' differences. Being different makes us stronger as leaders because we are able to work together. We can leverage each other's strengths and truly bring the best possible outcome to every situation. I love it when I get to work with a leader that is different from me because we both get to bring out our best. There is no competition between the two of us. And I learned so much from them because they approach things a different way. They have a different mindset. They're bringing different ideas that I didn't come up with and probably never would because I'm bringing a completely different perspective from them. And our differences have made us better. I can tell you, even in the last couple years, I work with leaders who, yes, there are things that we have in common. There are things that we have are different. And we've been able to elevate our teams because of our differences in ways that wouldn't have been possible if we all were the same. And it has been amazing to be able to see that. And so that's where I want us to really lean in and understand that, again, our differences, it is what makes us better. Today, I want to talk about a book that John Maxwell released this past year. It's his most recent book. It's called High Road Leadership. It looks like this. It has a red and blue cover on it. Don't take that as being political. That's just the color choice that they made, that they chose. It came out earlier this year. I read it. It is absolutely incredible. And now more than ever, we need high road leaders. If you haven't read it or heard of it, you need to get it today, right now, and read it. It is your playbook as a leader to navigate not only the divisive times that we are continuing to be in, it's how you need to navigate your entire leadership journey with integrity and consistently choosing the high road. Buy it right now. You can get it on Amazon, Kindle, audiobook, whatever your choice is. You need to start reading it now. Share it with your team. Read it again in a couple months. I'm serious. These are desperate times, and it requires critical, consistent action. And it requires us as leaders to step it up and to be the high road leaders that when we stepped into our leadership position that we chose to be. Being a leader is a choice. You don't have to lead. And if you don't want to lead, you don't have to. However, if you want to be a leader, you need to be a high road leader and you need to start acting like it now. I'm going to share with you a couple concepts from the book that really resonated with me when I read it. I'm not going to go through every little piece of it because I want you to read it. You need to read it. Again, buy it for your team, your family, your friends, anyone that needs and wants to be on the high road, because this is the only way forward. This is the only way that we can get back to what we all want, which I believe are the exact same things. We all want peace. We all want prosperity. We all want happiness, health, and love. We all want those same things. And just because they may look different doesn't make how we want them right or wrong. Because at the core, those are the things that we want. And again, they are all the same. So let's talk about a couple concepts from the book. In the book, John Maxwell says that high road leaders bring people together. They respect the other person's commitments and sacrifices, and as a result, they experience a sense of brotherhood or sisterhood because They're both fighters and they know what it takes to enter the ring. And he's not talking about fighters literally, but it's just strong individuals who know what it's like to step into a place of leadership because it's not easy. It's not an easy choice to make. And you're going to have more hard days than you're going to have easy days as a leader. Just again, it is what it is. But they know what it takes and they respect the other person for being there and for showing up every day. You have to be able to work with people that disagree with you. And if you can't, you're never going to become the leader that you truly desire to be. Conversations and collaboration with others, especially those that are different from you, they're always going to come up with the better answers than isolation and exclusion. You have to believe the best about people, and that's how you bring people together. And when you believe the best about people, you give them their best, and it brings out their best. In the book, he shared a quote from Zig Ziglar that I love, and I've heard it before. But that quote is, if you take the high road, you will stand out because your actions will be so different than others. You can have everything that you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want, right? So choose the high road, stand out, make your actions different, and help other people get what they want. The other concept that he talks about is high road leaders value all people. They value them, they believe in them, they love them unconditionally. And when you do that every single day, you will be successful. We need to see each other's worth as human beings. You need to let your team and the people around you know that you see that worth and that you're going to help them to feel their own sense of self-worth and that you believe in them. We have to value all people, and that comes from recognizing and embracing their worth. Believing in people comes from seeing and acknowledging their potential and being there to help support them and lift them up. High road leaders who value people, John says, have a strong, healthy sense of self-worth, yet at the same time, they are humble, meaning that they don't think too much of themselves or about themselves too much. And that is a critical aspect of being a high leader. You need to have that strong sense of self-worth, but be very cautious about crossing that line into arrogance. The secret is in how you see others. How we view things is how we do things, right? I've heard others say what you focus on is what you find. And that right mindset, it comes from recognizing that the world is not all about you. You're not the only person that exists in the world. You're just not. Another concept that he shares in the book is that high road leaders, they acknowledge your humanness. We are all humans. We all are. And he talks about being very dangerous to think more of yourself than you should. We do need to put emphasis on the good choices that we make and the gifts that we have been given and bring those forward. And that's where being able to work with people who are different from you, again, it allows you to leverage your strengths and gifts and be able to leverage theirs. You have to understand what your strengths, your weaknesses, your feelings, your thoughts, and your values. Do the work to truly know what they are. Have them written down where you can reference back to them, because we all need reminders of those things, because we're all going to have moments where we might not be believing in ourselves and we need to look back. Plus, it helps you know that if my strength is A and your strength is B, great, then we can come together and bring both of our strengths to the table to help support whatever it is that we're working through. If we are thinking too much of ourselves and we are seeing ourselves as so highly experienced, sometimes that prevents us from doing our homework. We only see things that align with what we truly believe, which can be, John calls it disconfirming evidence, right? And we don't then question our assumptions. I found myself there. Sometimes you get way too comfortable in your role or what you're doing, and you just assume that you have the answer, and you don't prepare as much as you should have. And then you find yourself in a place where, again, you're not prepared and it shows, right? So you have to have an exercise, a level of humility in leadership to know that you don't always have all of the answers, and don't be too sure of yourself that you still don't need to prepare. There's absolutely nothing weak about humility in leadership. It is a sign of confidence. And there's another quote in the book from Jim Weber, who's the CEO of Brooks Running, and he actually says that exact thing. There's nothing weak about humility in leadership. It's actually a sign of confidence, and it really is. So look at your shortcomings more objectively and realistically. Understand what your weaknesses are. Look for what the strengths in your team members or your peers are. And where they have a strength and you have a weakness, be willing to come together. Now, John talks about several other concepts of a high road leader, and I'm going to share those with you. He said high road leaders do the right things for the right reason. High road leaders give more than they take. High road leaders place people above their own agenda. High road leaders embrace authenticity. High road leaders take accountability for their actions. High road leaders live by the bigger picture. High road leaders don't keep score. And high road leaders desire the best for others. Now, it's going to take patience. High road leadership requires patience, and I promise you that it is worth it in the long run. So again, if you haven't picked up the book, I encourage you pick it up now and read it. I have myself committed to, even though I've read it once already just a couple months ago, when it came out, I am committed to picking it back up and reading it again, to showing up as the high road leader that I know I am and that I desire to be. This isn't a time for us to be calling each other names and being mean towards each other and not respecting each other just because we see things differently. And I don't say that just because I voted for the person that won. I said the same thing 4 years ago when I voted for the person who didn't win, right? We all have differences, and our differences, again, are what make us stronger. So I want to encourage you, pick up the book. This is a time that we all have to come together. We all have to be high road leaders because our teams are dependent on it. Our organizations are depending on us. The world is counting on us to be showing up as high road leaders. So pick up the book, read through it again in a couple months. I'm going to read it starting today, and I will probably be reading it again a couple months after it, or at least at minimum reviewing the notes that I take when I read, because these are the things that we're going to have to be very diligent about reminding ourselves of and making sure that we are staying on that road. I encourage you also follow John Maxwell. I know he dives deeper into the concepts and he can talk much better about them than I can. I know I will be going back and listening to his podcasts where him and his team talk about it. I know he released the book earlier in the year, but I think there was a reason for that. And it's because we need it, and we need it now. So that is my message to you for this week. Next week, we will pick back up our regular programming on the podcast, and we'll be talking about different concepts within leadership. I will, though, and I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, I will be weaving in the concepts from John's book, because I don't think that we can hear the message about what it means to be a high road leader and how important that is enough. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you've made it this far, thank you. And I appreciate your commitment to investing in your growth and your development and your choice to be a high road leader. So until next time, my fellow leaders, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader you are striving to be, and make the choice today to be a high road leader. Thanks for listening to A Leader's Journey podcast. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you're excited to learn more, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in next week for another exciting leadership lesson. I'd love to help you level up your leadership, achieve the goals you desire, and design your unique leadership journey. So click the link in the show notes to schedule a free Level Up Your Leadership session. During this time, we will define where you are in several key areas of leadership, where you desire to be, and how you can level up your leadership. You don't need to do this alone, so let's chat today and get your journey started. Don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn or in the A Leader's Journey community on Facebook, and share this episode with another leader so we can all learn and grow together. That's all for this episode, and I'll see you next week. Until then, lead with confidence, show up every day as the leader you are striving to be, and make the decision today to level up your leadership this year.